Gary Heidnik, the House of Horrors killer. Gary Heidnik was an American criminal known for his horrific acts of kidnapping, torture, and murder. His crimes took place in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, from 1986 to 1987, where he held 6 women captive in a pit in his basement, torturing and raping them over several months. Heidnik's actions shocked the nation and led to his conviction and subsequent execution. Early life. Gary Michael Heidnik. Born, November 22, 1943, in Eastlake, Ohio. Childhood. Heidnik had a troubled upbringing, marked by abuse and neglect. His parents divorced when he was young, and he was raised by his mother, who struggled with alcoholism. Heidnik later claimed that his father was emotionally abusive. Military service. Heidnik enlisted in the U.S. Army in 1961 but was honorably discharged in 1962 due to mental health issues. Heidnik's brief military career ended after he was diagnosed with schizoid personality disorder. Criminal activities. The House of Horrors. Kidnappings. Between November 1986 and March 1987, Heidnik kidnapped 6 women, holding them captive in the basement of his house at 3520 North Marshall Street in Philadelphia. He created a pit in the basement where he kept the women, chaining them and subjecting them to brutal torture. Victims. The women Heidnik kidnapped included Josephina Rivera, Sandra Lindsay, Lisa Thomas, Deborah Dudley, Jacqueline Askins, and Agnes Adams. Heidnik targeted vulnerable women, many of whom were mentally disabled or struggling with addiction. Torture and murder. Brutality. Heidnik inflicted severe torture on his captives, including starvation, electric shocks, and sexual assault. He used psychological manipulation to control them and pitted the women against each other. Murders. 2 of Heidnik's captives, Sandra Lindsay and Deborah Dudley, died due to the torture. Lindsay died from a combination of starvation, torture, and untreated illness, while Dudley was murdered through electrocution. Cannibalism allegations. Claims. It was alleged that Heidnik engaged in cannibalism, feeding the remains of Sandra Lindsay to the other captives mixed with dog food. While these claims added to the horror of Heidnik's actions, they were never conclusively proven. Capture and trial. Arrest. Escape and rescue. Josephina Rivera, one of Heidnik's captives, managed to gain his trust over time. On March 24, 1987, he allowed her to leave the house temporarily. She went to the police, leading them to Heidnik's house, where they rescued the remaining captives and arrested Heidnik. Trial. Mental health defense. During his trial, Heidnik's defense team argued that he was insane, presenting evidence of his long history of mental illness. However, the prosecution successfully argued that Heidnik was fully aware of his actions and their consequences. Conviction. On July 1, 1988, Gary Heidnik was found guilty of 2 counts of first-degree murder and multiple other charges, including kidnapping, rape, and aggravated assault. He was sentenced to death. Execution. Death sentence. Execution. After numerous appeals, Gary Heidnik was executed by lethal injection on July 6, 1999, at the State Correctional Institution in Rockview, Pennsylvania. His execution marked the first in Pennsylvania since 1962. Legacy and impact. Cultural impact. Media coverage. The case of Gary Heidnik received extensive media coverage and has been the subject of numerous books, documentaries, and television shows. The horrific nature of his crimes and the details of the torture inflicted on his captives have left a lasting impact on public consciousness. Legal and psychological insights. Mental health and criminal justice. The Heidnik case highlighted issues related to mental health within the criminal justice system. It raised questions about the adequacy of mental health care for individuals with severe psychological disorders and their potential for committing violent crimes. Conclusion. Gary Heidnik's crimes remain among the most brutal and horrifying in American history. His actions serve as a chilling reminder of the depths of human cruelty and the importance of vigilance and support for vulnerable individuals. The case continues to be a significant point of reference in discussions about mental health, criminal justice, and the capacity for evil in human behavior.